Being a Kirby fan is so easy, I should have tried this earlier. Just being an Air Eye fan wasn't cutting it. We literally just sit around while Hal feeds us a buffet. This anniversary alone, we got the first 3D adventure in the series, a bite-sized spin-off game, the Crystal Shards on Switch, and to end it all off, a return to one of the best 2D Kirby games. Kirby's return to Dreamland Deluxe! Why is he yellow? This is one of Kirby's best games, and it returns with a fresh coat of paint, new content, and an $80 price tag. Ahem. Return to Dreamland was always one of my favorite Kirby games, between the copy abilities, the super abilities, and the all-around gameplay being superb. It's also one of the most influential games in the series, as it laid down the groundwork for the next 10 years of Kirby games. So it feels cathartic for it to end off the 30th anniversary of the series. That's a lot of expectations for this remaster to meet. So how does it improve over the original, and can it justify that $8 price tag? Well, it's been so long since I last played it, it might as well be a new game to me at this point. And yes, this review will contain spoilers. It's another day in Dreamland. Kirby's hungry, Deedee's chasing him, Bandana D is following right behind, Meta Knight is reading, and a ship crashes down from a different dimension. Yep, just another Tuesday in Dreamland. Kirby and co investigate the UFF, unidentified flying friend, finding a mysterious visitor. And if Kirby games have taught me anything, it's that you can totally trust complete strangers who travel to your world via dimensional traveling ship, because they have nothing but good intentions and will build you a theme park to play minigames in. Magolor is the name, interdimensional travel is his game. His ship, the Lore Starcutter, has lost 5 key components in the crash, rendering it useless and leaving Magolor stranded. But Kirby, being the kind pink puffball that he is, without hesitation, commits to gathering all the lost pieces of Magolor's ship. We should all strive to be like Kirby. So the adventure begins with that classic Return to Dreamland gameplay and level design I know and love. Traveling across 7 worlds, collecting all 120 energy spheres, going to town on enemies with the overpowered super abilities, and overcoming dangerous foes. All here again with remastered visuals that are... Okay. To address the elephant in the room, the outlines. You know, the aspect of the visuals I nitpicked for looking too low res and making the models not blend in well with the environment? Not sure what I was surprised by more, how popular the video got, or by how many people agreed with me. So, as your resident outline hater, after 5 months since uploading that and having the game in my hands, I am comfortable to say, The outlines neither take away nor do I think they add to the visual quality of this remaster. They're just there. The minor problems I have with them is that they're inconsistent. Only the character models have outlines but not other foreground objects like ropes or blocks, and even Kirby's abilities like water and fire don't even use outlines. So what's the point? Why are they here? My best guess is that they make the models pop from the background as they do pop. I just didn't think it was necessary in the first place. And some of the models look worse with the outlines, like Wispy, whose leaves used to blend in a lot better in the original, but now look like a bunch of bushes because of the outlines. Despite that, I'm still indifferent to the outlines. I played the entire game and didn't wince once, and truth be told, would I be paying this much attention to them otherwise if I didn't make a video about it in the first place? No. But let's just say if there was a mod that got rid of the outlines completely, making the game look more visually cohesive, proving me right, oh hey look, here we are! I don't mind them, but I'm not the hugest fan of them either. However, Deluxe in every other way is an absolute upgrade over the original, especially in case of the backgrounds. They look so good! The game still pops with a colorful palette and runs smoothly at 60 frames per second. In most areas. Overall, Deluxe's visuals are an improvement compared to the original. I just don't love the outlines personally. Now, should that affect the game's quality in any way? Not really. Like I said, this is a nitpick that does not hinder the experience. They're there, I'm going to mention it, but there is so much more to this remaster than just the visuals. Like the newly added abilities! 2 new copy abilities join the mix in Deluxe. The first is Mecha Kirby, and it is super! It's an awesome mecha suit that can shoot laser beams and can charge up a big beam blast and store it by pressing the shoulder button, and you can do a bunch of cool combos like this one where you dash forward then bounce back into a fully charged beam blast, and it's just so cool! I did not expect to be this big of a fan of the mecha ability when it was first announced, but here we are. I easily used it the most throughout my playthrough. And the second ability is Sand Kirby. Other than having one of my favorite visual designs of any copy ability, for no particular reason, it's also just a fun one to utilize. Kirby gains the power of pocket sand to blind his enemies and course their clothing, making it the evilest and most dangerous ability in his arsenal. Darth Vader quivers in his boots against the Star Warrior now.
Pocket sand!
Kirby can even make a sandcastle, easily the best ability in the game. Both of these new abilities are great and feel like natural extensions of the world, with Mecha Kirby aesthetically fitting into Egg Engines and Sand Kirby with Raisin Ruins. But it's a real shame that these were the only new abilities added to this remaster. Oh well. Fine. The festival ability is here too. Really? Of all copy abilities to bring back, and you choose the elaborate bells and whistles as your first and only pick? Really, Hal? Wait, bells and whistles? That reminds me, Merry Magoland! If you ever want to take a break from your grand adventure to a land of wonder and destroying friendships, then Merry Magoland is for you. A minigame plaza where you can collect masks that are horrifying. Initially, I didn't see much value in the masks, but over time they grew on me. They're fun to collect as a reward for playing the minigames and the main game as well, and can be taken on and off on a whim. Plus, some are just funny. Shh. They'll never know it's me, the real Kirby under this mask. Would have preferred more characters to play as, but these work in their own unique way. It's like they're kind of there. Anyway, there are 10 minigames in Magoland, ranging from returning favorites to new ones, and they are a blast. Samurai Kirby, Crackety Hack, and Kirby on the Draw are the best ones. Egg Catcher sucks, I can't beat it on level 3. There's also an online minigame based on Samurai Kirby called Samurai Kirby 100. They're making this too easy for me. And it's also the only online mode in this game. Yeah, I know, it's a 50-50 if the online even works, but that's not a reason to not include it. No online for all the minigames and the main game is such a missed opportunity. Despite that, Merry Magoland is a fun distraction from the main game that even has some depth to it, with over 100 optional missions to do and the stamp rally. And I'll let you know, my completionist brain was all over this. A good mode to sink your teeth into when you're tired of the main adventure. Although it does completely replace the minigames in the lore Star Cutter. Take my piece of advice, ignore the minigames in the Star Cutter, and just play them in Magoland. You actually earn stuff for playing the minigames there. Enough distractions though, back to the main story, and to give the TLDR of RTDLD, after gathering all the ship parts, Kirby and Ko go to Magolor's home dimension, Halcondra, and are immediately shot down by an evil 4-headed dragon named Landia. So, we have to kill it. Fight it. Just one Egg Engines and a dangerous dinner later, Kirby confronts Landia and defeats them with the power of friendship. We did it! We saved the day!
We? We?
You know, it was weird to be so buddy-buddy with Magolor in Magoland, which is explained as another world in a different time, despite Magoland appearing in the background of a level. That's because, shock of all shocks, Kirby, stranger danger! Magolor was evil the whole time and used Kirby to defeat Landia in order to get his grubby little hands on the Master Crown. I love how everyone's shocked while Kirby is still trying to process what's going on. He is too pure for our world. Look, I knew Magolor was going to betray Kirby from the beginning. Because you see, the yellow in his design is a reference to the color's association with betrayal in Christianity, referring to Judas. How did we get here? Well, the last world is called Dangerous Dinner, so I don't know what I was expecting. Anyway, that leads to the final boss after Kirby turns into a shooter for one level. It's a tradition. At least you get to fight the Lord Star Cutter there, that was pretty cool. Magolor would have been difficult if I didn't use the power of friendship again to defeat him. With that, the day is saved, everybody returns home, except for Magolor. Bye-bye. And with that complete, a bunch of new modes have been unlocked, including, and not limited to, the Arena, a battle mode where you can hone your skills with various copy abilities against all the game's bosses in one long gauntlet. With the dodge returning from Triple Deluxe and the new copy abilities, I greatly enjoyed my bouts this time around. Nailed it in under 15 minutes. Then there's Extra Mode, which is a harder version of the main campaign that has barely any differences besides from less health, a few new bosses, multiple sizes for enemies, and a final boss at the end with a different cutscene. Not to mention, you still have to collect the energy spheres in this mode, even though I already did that in the original campaign, and now I have to do it all over again to get 100%! Yeah, not a fan of Return to Dreamland's 100% methods. However, beating that does unlock the true arena, a harder version of the original with new bosses, including new ones introduced in this remaster. All of this was a part of the original game, except for the real meat and potatoes of this remaster, Magolor's Epilogue. As the name implies, this mode explores what happened to Magolor after the game's events. For me, this was what the remaster had to bank on for being worth it. I wasn't too thrilled when it was announced, it got a solid okay from me, but after playing it and 100%ing it, why didn't they tell me this mode was going to be so good? This epilogue blew me away. Magolor wakes up in the middle of nowhere in a weakened state until he is able to find an apple slice that helps restore a little bit of his powers. There are 5 to collect, so 4 more to go. The gameplay is a mix of platforming with RPG elements, meaning Magolor is weak. The only attack he has at the beginning is a measly magic blast. The game also has a counter on the top left for how long he can keep a combo going by constantly hitting enemies and objects. The bigger the combo, the more magic points you get, which means a better score at the end of the level. Magolor's attacks and abilities can also be upgraded by spending magic points, and new abilities are unlocked after defeating a boss and collecting a fruit slice. Everything in this mode flows perfectly into each other. If you want to upgrade your abilities, you need to collect magic points. To collect more magic points, you need to have better combos, and the best way to do that is to upgrade your abilities. It's this perfect triangle of game design that ties into the main goal of the mode, if you care about it that is, to get the platinum medal on each level and boss. HAL Laboratory just implemented RPG elements into a platformer flawlessly. Everything is progress. Every replay to sharpen your combos to achieve the platinum medal rewards you, and that is the genius of this mode. After playing the main story effectively twice, it was so refreshing to not have the level design be focused around Kirby and have it take advantage of Magolor's unique abilities. And the combo system is so neat and keeps you on your toes, optimizing the best path through levels or chaining enemies together. It's meticulous but not cutthroat. They balanced it perfectly with the upgrade system. I love Magolor's dialogue on the upgrade screen, allowing us to see how much of an evil Knievel he is without being bogged down by cutscenes. And who knew the Devil Spawn had a sense of humor? Magolor can even do the Kamehameha and can summon black holes. Oops, destroys universe. I love this epilogue. Yeah, there are only about 30 levels including bonus stages, and it only takes an hour or 2 to beat and not that much more to complete. I do wish it was longer, but I'd much rather have it be short than unnecessarily padded out. It's solid, well-designed gameplay from beginning to end, and man, that ending! Once Magolor collects all the apple slices, they combine to form a gem apple seed that is unexpectedly corrupted by the Master Crown? It's sentient? Always remember to pause your game, ladies and gentlemen, that's where the real lore is. It corrupts the seed into a crowned doomer as some sort of punishment for making Kirby do all the busy work. You know what, I feel better already. However, I've upgraded my skills and I'm just too good. Hardly a challenge. This was just the first phase, wasn't it? An Eldritch Tree. Yep, this is definitely a Kirby game, and I'm loving it. The Master Crown fight was intense. A true final boss that actually got my blood pumping and my health bar to go see a doctor. But I squeezed out the victory like juice from an orange. Sorry, the game's starting to make me hungry. Though Magolor pulls off the sickest move ever, transforming a sword into an Ultra Sword and cutting the tree in half, destroying the Master Crown for good and atoning for his wicked ways. Magolor is freed at last. Free to make Kirby Clash canon and sell you microtransactions. What, you call that redemption? That was more evil than what he did before! And he was trying to kill me! Great side mode though. And with that completed, I am all Kirby'd out. To sum it up, Return to Dreamland Deluxe has definitely earned the name. It's the Return to Dreamland we all know and love, with new bells and whistles, upgraded visuals depending on your preference, new enjoyable side modes, and a remastered soundtrack that I can safely say it completely outclasses the original for me. HAL put in the work here, and that should be commended. Emulation isn't gonna cut it. This is the definitive version of the game. Although that's not a justification to close the eShop still, Nintendo, please come on. Now whether that justifies the full price tag of $80 will be entirely up to you. If you're just getting into Kirby or are already a huge Kirby fan, I do recommend this game as a quality 2D Kirby experience. However, if you have the original, I suggest waiting for a sale before picking it up. Regardless, this is still a quality game and a great way to cap off the 30th anniversary of the series. Even though I'm tired of seeing this idiot's face, I personally cannot wait to see where Kirby will go from here. Maybe we'll get a new 3D game building off Forgotten Land, or maybe even an experimental 2D game like Epic Yarn. Maybe even an Air Ride sequel? Nope. Can't blame a man for dreaming.